the implementation of projects, even big projects like Gatsby. So we are successful in Nepal. Our advocacy is successful in Nepal and in Mongolia because in Nepal there are 6 of FOs in the National Steering Committee and also in Mongolia. Policies for climate change adaptation. So we all know that one of the most vulnerable to climate change is farmers. So this is a picture of native trees that will be planted in one farm of a family farmer. And this is an example of a water harvesting tool by farmers. So our farmers are collecting all tarpaulins from many conferences because they will use this tarpaulins and these tents for their water harvesting techniques. Okay, so we need more investments, for example, for community-based reforestation. Reforestation done not by companies but by people who are really living in this forest or in these upland areas. And also national level climate change adaptation plans with meaningful involvement with farmers. Policies for disaster risk prevention and rehabilitation. So this is the picture of Typhoon Yolanda, Typhoon Haiyan, how it really destroyed properties and even caused the death of thousands of people. Okay, so I think because our region is very vulnerable to disasters, we have all the disasters here. I think we need our governments to have policies and programs for disaster preparedness and effective disaster management. So now that we are knowing or learning that one of the reasons why there were many victims of Typhoon Yolanda in the Philippines is because the people were not properly informed. So the government said there was a storm surge, but people did not know the height of the storm surge. They did not know that it would be like tsunami. So people stayed in their places or just stayed in what they think were concrete buildings that can shelter them from the high winds. But then many people got really flooded, no? Because of the storm surge. So proper information, timely information, early warning devices, and resilient structures. Like what kind of houses do we build in coastal areas? What kind of buildings do we build in earthquake-prone areas? So we can have some government policy on land use planning or on zoning. Where should be residential areas? If this is an island, where should people stay? Like that. And lastly, all of these policies, as I mentioned earlier, will be more effective also and be more meaningful with meaningful participation of small farmer holders. And many of the farmers' organizations in Asia and Pacific have varying degrees of development. Some are very well developed already with their own professional structures. They can deal directly with government. They can push for policies. But some still need to build their capacities. So we have to create policies and programs to strengthen FO capacity building. And we would like to take this opportunity to tell you, and because we're very happy for this, because IFAD and FAO has promoted this medium-term cooperation program for the past 3 years, and now it will be in its second phase. So with that, we would like to present a video for this. after this is maybe how can we have this, how can we have national committees for IYFF so that even just one policy among the many policies needed can make a difference to family farmers for next year. So maybe we can do that, and MTCP2 can be a platform to engage governments and to partner with governments in this. Tomorrow we will have more discussion on the details of the MTCP2. For those of you who are here, you can come here in the morning. But for those of you who are not here, we have a calendar which you can get to remind us that next year is International Year of Family Farming. And a brochure on MTCP2, which you can find the details of MTCP2. We have put it already at the Secretariat table outside the room. So thank you very much.